What is going on, guys? Inside New York Sports Podcast here, and today we have a free agency preview for the New York Giants as we are getting set for free agency. We've waited a long time, it felt like, ever since the Super Bowl ended. Now we get into free agency, so we're starting to get things underway. Then we have the draft, of course, and we know how important the draft is for the New York Giants, but free agency is just as important. They need to have a plan, and I do think they have a plan. I think with John Harbaugh and the Giants coaching staff, front office, everything like that, I think they have a great opportunity to be a good football team next season. There's a lot of guys out there that I think the Giants are going to target. Are they going to get them? I'm not sure, but first, they do need to restructure a ton of contracts. I've said it in previous episodes, so I'm not going to say it again of how much money they'll save, but restructuring Brian Burns, Andrew Thomas, etc. is definitely what they're going to do. But the first player I do have is going to be Sebastian Joseph Day, a defensive lineman from Tennessee. And I know he's maybe a different type of target. I'm going to get into all of them, obviously, and other things that they can do. But he had the fifth highest run-stop rate. He's a Tennessee Titan. He's been with the Tennessee Titans for a bit. He's familiar with Denard Wilson. So I think Denard Wilson is going to have a lot of say in stopping the defense, in stopping the run. And I think Sebastian Joseph Day is a phenomenal player, ninth in total run stops. And like I said, he is familiar with Denard Wilson. And the Giants have not been a team that has been able to stop the run. So I think stopping the run is definitely one of the biggest things on their whiteboard to fix, right? The defensive line needs help. Dexter Lawrence, I think, is going to have a better season this upcoming year. And they have no plans of trading him. They should never have plans of trading Dexter Lawrence because he's a really good player. And I think with Denard Wilson next year, we're going to see a different type of Andrew Thomas, a different type of Dexter Lawrence. But getting into some offensive alignment, of course, the big name is Tyler Linderbaum, center for the Baltimore Ravens. Are the Giants going to be able to snag him? It seems like it's going to be a mega bidding war for the young star, Tyler Linderbaum. Listen, do I really think the Giants are going to get him? Probably not. If I had to bet on it, I'd say the Giants aren't able to sign him. They have a lot of holes in their team. Linebackers, cornerbacks, right? Even the interior offensive line needs help as well. So I think if you're going to throw $20+ million at a center, you can't really upgrade in other spots, right? Getting Tyler Linderbaum would be phenomenal, right? He's one of the best centers in the NFL. He is young. You can get him on a great deal. But like I said, he's probably going to get $22+ million, and I don't think the Giants are going to sign him to some sort of 4-year, $85 million deal. Or even if it gets into $25 million a year, I don't think the Giants are going to entertain that either. So that really makes it seem like either Linderbaum's going to the Ravens. The Commanders are heavily pursuing. The Bears traded for a center. And the Chargers, I believe, signed Tyler Bradish, I think his name is, or he's the former center for the Washington Commanders. They signed him earlier. And Dan Duggan, like I said, he doesn't see the Giants spending $20 million plus on a center. He will be expensive. Patrick Ricard, I tell you what, I'm a big fan of Daniel Bellinger at fullback in the run game. Patrick Ricard is a different level, man. This guy moves people, and he always does a good job at it. He's always been elite at what he does. Him and Scatterbill would be a very, very fun tandem together. I just think with what is going on with the Giants, they want to run the football well this year, and I think the Giants have an opportunity that they can. I think with Tyrone Tracy, Singletary being back, I think with Scatterbill as well, if you have Patrick Ricard as your fullback and an improved offensive line, I think the Giants are going to be one of the best running teams in the NFL. And I still think they're going to be a great passing team. Don't get me wrong, but I think with Matt Nagy and what he wants to do, what John Harbaugh wants to do, what Greg Roman, everybody on the offensive staff, they want to run the football really well. And I think getting him is definitely something that they have on their eyes. You know what? This is our first trade. And I saw this today. Trading for Brian Thomas Jr. I tell you what, Brian Thomas Jr. is a very solid player. He really is. I mean, he's young. He played with Malik Neighbors, so I think if you get him and Malik Neighbors would be really fun to watch. You know, you're probably definitely losing Wanda Robinson to the Tennessee Titans. There are some options out there in free agency that the Giants can sign, like Rashid Shaheed. I would not mind at all if they signed him. Alec Pierce is another name, but I don't think they're going to go after him. I don't think they're going to go after Brandon Ayuk. I don't think they're going after Mike Evans either. So it's going to be really interesting on who they get, because they're not running it with Darius Slayton and Jalen Hyatt. I think Jalen Hyatt is going to get cut this offseason, and I think Darius Slayton is probably going to be your wide receiver 3. It's really who is going to be your wide receiver 2. Brian Thomas Jr., I think they're listening to phone calls because they just traded for Jacoby Myers at the trade deadline from the Raiders. And Jacoby Myers, when he was with the team, had a pretty solid season, had a few touchdowns, good catching. Brian Thomas Jr., he had a 1,000-yard season in 2024, 700-plus yards in 2025. I really think he could be a solid fit for this team. Now, the asking price is probably, I would say, a second and a third at least. I think that's probably the starting point. Or the Giants want to go out and trade Thibodeau to the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'd be honestly shocked if the Giants hold on to Kayvon as his third edge rusher. You could save $14 million if you make this move. I wouldn't mind a player-for-player trade. Like if the Giants ended up trading away Kayvon Thibodeau to the Jacksonville Jaguars for Brian Thomas Jr., I wouldn't hate it. Honestly, I really wouldn't. And then plus, if the Giants could even get a pick back as well for Kayvon, I'd really like that as well. But I don't think Kayvon Thibodeau is going to be on the team next year. I don't. I think you have too much value with $14 million that you could spend in free agency and sign depth pieces at the cornerback position, at the linebacker position, as we'll get into a linebacker that I want really bad soon. But Wyatt Teller, this is a good player in Cleveland. He was coached by the Giants offensive line coach Mike Bloomgreen in 2025. He was drafted in 2018 by Joe Shane and his staff. When he was on staff, I don't think Joe Shane actually made the pick. But the problem is that he's battled some knee and calf injuries in 2024 and 2025, which is a little bit concerning with the age of 31 years old, but he's still an above-average right guard. I do think the Giants are going to be able to retain Jermaine Illuminor. I do. And I think if they don't, he's also going to go to the Tennessee Titans and follow Carmen Bracillo, who's coached him forever, right? With the Raiders, the Giants. I'm pretty sure he coached them at the Patriots, too, if he played for them, but you guys could fact-check me. Not sure if Jermaine Illuminor was actually on the Patriots. I don't think he was, but still. Wyatt Teller. They're also looking at Elijah Vera-Tucker and Dylan Parham. So there's still a lot of good options that you can sign if you miss out on Jermaine Illuminor, but he's a fan favorite. He was a great right tackle for the Giants last year. Only issue with him, took a little bit too many penalties, but I think that's an easy cleanup. But at number 6, I have signing Leo Chenal, linebacker from the Kansas City Chiefs. He is a two-time Super Bowl champion, 25 years of age. And I tell you what, if you can get him on a pretty solid deal, because he's projected to sign a 2-year, $18 million deal. The linebacking room is thin. It's very thin. It's not great. I do think they'll still re-sign Mike McFadden. I do think that. Sonny Styles to the New York Giants at 5. Or is it going to be Caleb Downs? Leo Chenal and Sonny Styles would be a pretty awesome linebacking duo. But, the problem is Leo Chenal is going to be very he is going to be talking to a bunch of teams because a bunch of teams want him. He's really good. 218 career tackles at the age of 25. Don't also rule out Kayvon Thibodeau being traded for a different linebacker. The Giants were talking to the Kansas City Chiefs about a Nick Bolton trade. I would not mind that at all. But if you want to re-sign Leo Chenal for pretty cheap, $9 million a year, 2 years, $18 million, I'd be very open to that. The one question I do have is the Giants are at $14 million, but that's the question. With Devin Singletary restructuring his deal, why are the Giants still interested in adding a top running back? There's been so much smoke about Kenneth Walker to the New York Giants. Is that because they are worried with the health of Cam Scatterbill? Do they not believe in Tyrone Tracy? I don't know. But restructuring Devin Singletary's deal to add some cap space makes me believe that they're not going to add a single running back. And I don't want that. I don't think the Giants need a running back at all. They really don't. But like I said, the Giants have a great opportunity. They truly do. The Giants have a great opportunity to be a good football team next year, to potentially, if everything goes right, win the NFC East. There's been a lot of stuff with Dallas. The Commanders are old, and the Philadelphia Eagles have some locker room issues. Not being delusional and saying the Giants are immediately going to win the NFC East, but I do think if everything goes right, they sign the right players, they draft extremely well, which I think the Giants are going to be able to do because John Harbaugh has been able to bring in good talent. So, I think the Giants are hopefully going to follow this plan. If they do, I think they'll be a pretty solid team in 2026. But anyways, guys, that is going to do it for this video. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.